What's up guys, welcome back to another video. So this series right here is gonna be super crazy. I've been telling you guys, so if you guys remember from the last video that I posted, I said that I was gonna go ahead and do a crazy build. Well, as you guys could tell probably from the title of the video, you guys might already have an idea of what it is. So huge shout out to Domestic Mango. I'll put his Instagram right here because if it wasn't for his rendering, this build would not be in progress. So this build has been in the background for quite some time, maybe a couple months. I believe ever since I picked up the Pandem kit from SoCal Sideways. This build is gonna be insane, so huge shout out to Domestic Mango, because if I would have never seen that, this build wouldn't be happening. I saw these renderings online and I messaged him. He actually replied. He's good with me making that rendering come to life, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna show you guys the rendering right now, what my plans are. So here's a rendering from Domestic Mango, and man, as soon as I saw this thing, I fell in love. I'm a huge fan of Too Fast, Too Furious, and a couple of the Fast and the Furious franchise, except for the new movies, which are a little overboard for me. I couldn't afford a R34 Skyline, so I was like, man, this would be the next big thing. As soon as I saw this rendering, I fell in love with it. The only thing I won't be running is the CR Kais. I will be running the Volk TE37s on this thing. It's gonna look pretty insane. Of course, I need spacers to make the wheels come out more. I'm gonna have to do what I'm gonna have to do to make this thing look insane. I'm really excited for the series. If you guys are also, go ahead and subscribe because you guys do not want to miss it. I will be debuting the car at All Aspects Apparel Warehouse late September, early October, around there. I will also be attending NISFest, Race Wars, Hot Import Nights, and Clean Culture, so keep an eye out for that. Now let's get this video started. So it's time to cut up the Skyline R32, and I really don't want to cut it up because once you cut it, you really can't go back unless you get new rear quarter panels, which sucks. But I got these lines marked up here, and the front one as well. I don't have the front or rear fender flares at the time. My friend took them to attach the bottom pieces that were missing. So I'm just gonna have to wing it, and if I have to cut more, I have to cut more. Right now I'm going based off of reference points from pictures I've seen online of people doing this kit, and kind of like roughly around where they cut. So if I need to cut more, I'll cut more. And what we will be using, we're gonna use this AC Delco seam sealer here that we have to seal it up after it's welded, and then after we seal it up, we're gonna go ahead and paint it. I also have these rubber pieces that I bought from Amazon. I'll link down below, that we're gonna use on the front fenders after we cut them. So the first rear quarter panel is cut, and it was kind of a pain to get this cut because the fenders were rolled, but managed to do it. Be really mindful of that line right there because you do not want to cut into that. Fortunately, I barely missed it. So reach on the passenger side inside the trunk, pull that thing up, zip tie it so that thing does not get in your way while you're cutting, if you guys are doing this same process that I did. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and tuck it in there so that way it doesn't get in the way of me cutting the slits or anything. All right, now the rear quarter panels are cut into slits. Next step is go ahead and push them up with a sledgehammer. Then I'm gonna grind this part down, grind the bottom part down. Then we're gonna go ahead and tack weld it to the top, then throw some seam sealer on there so that way no moisture or water gets in there. But the homie Takata luckily has a welder, and he's gonna go ahead and help me out. I'm gonna try to attempt to do it because I never done it before, so I'll probably do like a couple tack welds on one side. So now we need to go ahead and cut the front fenders as well as the $700 front GTR bumper. It's gonna suck, but I gotta do it either way. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut this up. It kind of sucks, again, I don't have the kit with me to see exactly how much I need to cut, but luckily by reference points I could get this cut to the correct size. But with that being said, let's go ahead and cut this thing up. All right, now the front fenders slash bumper are finally cut. I do need to remove this plastic piece that's in the wheel well. I'll probably end up using that just to cover that area so I don't get no water or dirt down in that corner down there. But I put this little rubber lip that I will link down below once again. I do need to check for clearance. You see that I might have to cut that section there and then bend that lip a little bit just so that the wheels could fit. So I need to wait for the wheels to come in and test fit the wheels to check for turning clearance. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to bend that lip, possibly even push it in a little bit because of the specs that I'm running with the spacers and the wheels themselves. I do need to take off this plastic piece and probably bend the little lip up there. I'm not quite sure yet. I got to, I guess, figure it out as I go. So you guys might be thinking to yourselves, why is the video black and white? Is because I'm going to have to wrap a couple of the pieces on the car just to get it going, start it off, and that is why the video is in black and white. I'm probably just gonna stick more towards the front of the car to wrap that before I weld the rear quarter panel, so that way we don't get any welds on them while we're welding the rear quarter panels. So now the rear quarter panel is ready to be welded. I just need to go ahead and grind it down and then go ahead and tack weld them up. But like I said, the homie Takata is gonna help me do that. So now they're up, ready to go. So now the seam sealer is on, and yeah, of course it looks like crap, but once we spray it black, it's probably not going to matter that much. But besides that, everything covered up really good, and I'm happy with the results. Now we won't have any water or moisture getting in there. But the seam sealer's on. Now I just got to paint it and install the rear wide body, make sure everything lines up, and we're good to go. So now it is time to install the front lip on the front bumper. I will be using 10mm bolts and nuts to keep this thing together from flying off. Probably gonna end up using about 15. I'm not quite sure yet. You just gotta make sure it's completely straight before you start drilling the holes. That way it comes out perfect. And then after that, I'm gonna go ahead and install the side extensions on the front bumper. So I finally got the front fender flares from the homie Gabriel, and thanks to him, he did an amazing job putting that piece back on to the flare, and it came out really good. So a huge shout out to you. Thank you very much. He doesn't have an Instagram, so I'm not gonna put it up there, but either way, thank you, I appreciate it. So now it's time to go ahead and install this front fender flare. Well, not install, I'm just gonna use Clico pins. I'm gonna start off with the side skirt first though. Since I do not have the rear flares, this kit will be kind of hard to line up. So I'm just gonna start looking at a lot of pictures and see where the side skirt lands, and I'm just gonna Clico it on from there, and then go ahead and install the front fender flare from there, and then do adjustments as I need to. Once I get the rear quarters in, then I'll really be able to go ahead and take a look to see if everything lines up correctly. So that's why I'm gonna leave them on Clico pins for now until I receive the rear flares. So now I have the front fender flares on, the front bumper extensions, and the side skirts are held on by Clico pins. And for those of you who do not know what a Clico pin is, it essentially holds the kit in place while you're aligning it, and it really helps out. It's a big helpful tool to have. The good thing about it is that you could drill a tiny hole in the meantime, so that way if you mess up or you gotta move it a little bit up or a little bit down, you can drill another small little hole And once you go to drill the bigger hole, then you're good. So essentially what this does is you press down on this thing and it gets skinnier when you press it down. Once you release it, it expands and it holds your kit in place. And I also did want to say, since this is a GTST, there is this big gap right here on the fender. But there's a gap there because this kit is meant for a GTR and not a GTST, which I do have. Alright, as you guys can see, most of the car is wrapped. And I finally got the rear over fenders from the homie Gabriel. They came out again amazing, and they actually line up really well with the way I did it. There's like, if you guys can see in there, I didn't cut it further back enough how I needed to. So you could, like, if you take a step back, you could kind of see it sticking over the wide body. So I might go ahead and recut that and weld it up again. Or what I might actually just do is take the sledgehammer to it and just try to bend the metal in. I'm not sure if that's possible, but I'm gonna attempt that first. And if it works, then there's no need to cut and weld. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Hopefully that turns out well. Then unveiling the car, and then from there we're gonna go ahead and do the hardware install on the kit itself. We're gonna throw that video out there. So the next video would be wrapping the car. Even though we're gonna do it before the meet, we're still gonna go ahead and throw that video out later. So just keep that in mind. If you guys want to see that process, I'm gonna throw it out there for you guys, just so you guys can see.